grab a drink and let's fight. Not really though. It's the morning, so unless it's like hair of the dog, then I don't recommend drinking alcohol in the morning. This is just coffee. Anyways, welcome back, y'all. Today we're going to be looking at Drunken Master Monk in Baldur's Gate 3 for patch 8. This is on the stress test still. And we're going to look at its multi-class potential when majority of the multi-class you're taking is Drunken Master. So we got a little bit of a different one with this subclass because usually that sweet spot is 5-6 levels into whatever subclass the video is based on. Well, with Drunken Master, it's a little bit higher. So let's not waste any time. Let's go over Drunken Master, the basics of it, and then we'll jump into the synergy list to kind of talk about, what pairs well with it, and then we'll go to the gameplay section. Now, here we are for Way of the Drunken Master. You can see at level 3, that's when you pick the subclass and it really starts to go full swing. We are not negatively affected by being drunk. We gain proficiency in performance, and we also get our drunken technique. This is kind of like flurry of blows, but instead we get the ability to basically disengage after performing drunken technique without provoking like a opportunity strike. So a nice little benefit there. At level 4, we get intoxicating strike. This is where we can hit somebody and give them the drunk effect. And level 6, I would say the more useful one out of these two is redirect attack. When a creature misses your attack, you spend 1 key point as a reaction, and then they will go attack another target. But I said in the intro there that Monk's a little bit different as far as Way of the Drunken Master because I don't think it goes full swing into the subclass fantasy until we get Life of the Party. So for this video, we're going to be, this is kind of the spot we're looking at here is level 7. Now at level 9 there, we do get Sobering Realization, and this is okay, but this psychic damage that it adds to hitting a drunk target, it's a nice benefit, but it's not necessarily something that I think is required for the subclass and like the fantasy. And then if we basically go the full way, level 11 here, Drunkard's Luck, this is a nice benefit, but not necessary. So again, the real unique benefit of Way of the Drunken Master is right here, Life of the Party. So let's go ahead and move over to the synergy list, where we're going to try to pair some subclasses to basically get the majority of these features and kind of make them really pop off or play into a different like fantasy that's effective and viable. Now, here we are at our list. S tier pick there is probably just going to be my favorite out of all these multi-class options. A is going to be the synergize category there. B is solid. C is more, I would say, niche, man, kind of, you got to do a little leg work to make this subclass multi-class like pairing work. And then Waterdeep D tier is something I don't recommend that you pair with Way of the Drunken Master. Now, when it comes to Way of the Drunken Master, like I said in the basics section, we want to play around Life of the Party, intoxication, and getting targets drunk. We'll go over Life of the Party as far as how it really functions and like some little nuances with it in the gameplay section. So if you thought maybe I was a little too brief in the overview section, just know that we'll talk more about it once we get to the gameplay. That way everybody can kind of see how it works. But the first subclass we're going to talk about as far as synergy, we're going to go with Druid. This one does synergize. I'm thinking of Spores. They share the same spell modifier as well. Really, when it comes to Druid, I think you're just really would be picking up utility spells. I said this in a previous video about Monk, where it's like, I don't really like the multi-class Monk just because Monk is so strong as far as a fantasy and their tools that they get. It's very fulfilling. So multi-classing into it's like, I'll take little dips into other subclasses, but I don't really need to go that 6-6 split or like a 7-5 split just because, again, Monk is so self-sufficient and inherently what they get with each of their subclasses I think is really strong. But because, again, Druid, they share the same spell modifier, you'll pick up some nice utility spells, like ritual spells that you don't really even need to, spend those spell slots on. I think it works. It's synergized. Same goes for Cleric here, but Cleric gets a little bit of a leg up, and that is because of Death Domain, one of the other new subclasses we're getting, and being able to use your channel divinity to just add raw, more like necrotic damage. Really, really strong. Doesn't get in the way of what Monk is doing, which is essentially just beating the crap out of people. Let's talk about Fighter really quick. This is such an easy one, such a basic. It's going to be at the lowest end of synergy. Just 2 dips into it. Action Surge, always good. Really, really nothing else to talk about there. Paladin, on the other hand, not doing it for me. In fact, it's probably, this might be like a Waterdeep choice here. Man, I haven't put something in D tier in a long time. I play a lot of Paladin, so I feel like I have a good understanding on what they would bring to the table as far as multi-classing and I just don't see them bringing anything like of huge benefit to Monk, especially this Way of the Drunken Master style. Now in reverse fashion, say if you want to be majority paladin and then you wanted to dip into Drunken Master, I could see that working. But if you're going to start off as Drunken Master and then like dip into paladin, I don't see that working out too well, if that makes any sense. And the same kind of goes for sorcerer here. What would you be grabbing from sorcerer that you would want as a Way of the Drunken Master? I'm just gonna say Drunken Master from now on. But what would you want from sorcerer? Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. This is weird. You haven't made an appearance in a while. You wanna say hi? Ah, say hi. We'll go on a walk later. Goodbye. We may readdress these two in a reshuffling at the end, but for right now, yeah, I'm just like, if you're going Drunken Master, I just wouldn't recommend going Paladin or Sorcerer as a multi-class. Now, let's talk about Rogue here. Rogue, I would absolutely recommend. Probably going to be the top of the list. Probably going to be my S tier pick as well, because just a thief, that extra bonus action, doing more flurry of blows, or in the Drunken Master's case, the Drunken Flurry technique, really, really strong. So going something like Thief here, not going to get in the way of what the Drunken Master is already doing, and is only going to like enhance it. Now Bard here, because key points come back on short rest, as a Bard you get an extra short rest. So I will put Bard into B tier here. You also get some great utility spells. You know, Bard can work actually. And it's almost like the same situation as Paladin, where it's like, yeah, I could see a Bard dipping into Drunken Master. You know, you've got this intoxicated Bard. That works fantasy wise. But in this case, we're already a Drunken Master, which is, you know, a redirecting monk basically through like wild movements or like misdirection. So going then into Bard, I don't think that pairing, if you're already a Drunken Master, is as strong. But the base kit of Bard already in the subclasses, I'm thinking of Lore or Valor. Yeah, they can work. So I'm gonna keep Bard in solid tier here. Let's talk about Barbarian really quick. I'm gonna put this one also in synergizes, because you can rage and still do all of your techniques and melee strikes. It doesn't get in the way of again spreading that drunk effect and then having life of the party. And then also I'm thinking of Wild Heart, so you're one of your animal aspects, maybe like wolf or eagle. You can do your diving strike with your hands. So I think Barbarian here is actually really good. I might even want to slip it above these two. No, I can't move it above Cleric. Maybe I'll move it above Druid. Yeah, I like that place. Now Ranger. A Ranger I'm gonna put it also in solid. I like Ranger. The subclass I'm thinking of for Ranger is Swarmkeeper. And again, that synergy with marking your target. Now, unfortunately, I would move it up to A tier if you got that life of the party at level 6. But because it's at level 7, you can't take something like 3 Ranger to grab Swarmkeeper and then 3 Rogue to grab Thief. Then you'd have that bonus action to then mark your target. So unfortunately, because we're a little bit deeper into Monk this time around, that I think that kind of hurts Ranger just a little bit, but Ranger's still very solid. I'm thinking of like, instead of those bees around you, you're a Drunken Master that just smells really bad. So instead they're like flies. That's really, that puts a smile on my face. Now Wizard here, outside of utility spells, it's kind of like whatever. You could pick up something like Shield, which is a good reaction, but kind of like as a monk, we already have great reactions to like redirect attacks. And then we can also send missiles back like an arrow. So if I keep Wizard here for its utility spells, I kind of have to do the same for Sorcerer. So I'm fine with that. I can live with that. Now Warlock here. This is an interesting one. I think I'm gonna slide up into B tier because of something like Hex, and then picking one of your subclasses is just gonna give you benefits. And I mean Hex the spell, not Hexblade. I actually don't think Hexblade works that well with Drunken Master, unless you're using like the Punk Drunk club, and then you want to bind that and then like swap your stats over to Charisma instead. So that could work, but a little bit of leg work as far as like needing gear to make that subclass click. But the other Warlock subclasses, just getting benefits from, you know, taking down targets, you know, that's solid. So I think it does belong in B tier here. Now I'm pretty happy with this list. I could check, but does Divine Smite work with unarmed attacks? because that just got me thinking about Hexblade. But then you could take the Punk Drunk, you could take the club with it too. So it's not necessarily all unarmed attack. Okay, so maybe I move Paladin up, especially if you're gonna take that club, because there are pieces of gear and equipment in the game that synergize with being drunk, and I think that fits into Drunken Master. So if you have a club that synergizes with that, well then yeah, Paladin with Divine Smite, that would just be a benefit. So I'll keep it in the C tier because again, these ones are gotta do a little bit of legwork to kind of make them click. And for our top pick, I'm gonna give it to Rogue. I'm gonna give it to Rogue just because I said it earlier that Monk is just such a strong fantasy all on its own that it doesn't really need any of these other classes. So I think Thief here in particular really just makes the Monk shine even more. This is actually a pretty well-rounded list, especially if I threw one into Waterdeep, but I don't think anything's horrible. Maybe Wizard, I don't know. If we're not taking like utility spells into consideration, then yeah, I think Wizard would be down here, and I think also Sorcerer would be down here. So maybe this is how it's gonna look, and yeah, we'll let this one ride. Let's move to the gameplay section. Oh, Nomad, you're gonna get some shit for this one. Oh boy. Now, here we are in the gameplay section. As you can see, everybody's a little bit drunk, so just a normal afternoon at the Blushing Maiden here. Equipment-wise, we actually have everybody using some of these gloves you pick up. There's a various amount of like unarmed attack gloves in the game. These one give us thunder damage. You have the flawed Helldust gloves, we get you necrotic damage. So there's a few of these out there that for my monks, I usually do like to go unarmed. I know a lot of other ones you like use like quartering staffs and stuff, but I'm more of an unarmed monk kind of guy. But our tab here, we actually have the Punk Drunk Bastard. I think I was calling it the Punk Drunk Love. That's the movie. Anyways, but Punch Drunk Bastard here is the club we're gonna use during this fight. And basically we get Tippler's Rage. When you're drunk, you have advantage on attack rolls, and then you create a blast with each attack, which is the 1d4 thunder damage in the 3-meter radius. So really strong weapon. As far as the multi-classes that we got going on here, we have Gale. He is our cleric. That is death domain, so we're going to be able to add necrotic damage to our melee attacks. Just once though, because we only have one divinity charge. And then Shadow Art here is that ranger, that one I was talking about, where it's like she's just drunk as shit, and then she also smells really bad, so she's got all these flies around her. I think it just looks funny. The animations in this are hilarious. The Gale there. It's good. It's a good time. So for our tab here, that is the 8 monk, the rogue. We went for rogue just so we picked up that extra bonus, or that extra feat, I should say. So this is definitely my favorite one here because we had our extra bonus action. And then we have, oh no, hang on. And then we have Karlak here. She is our barbarian version. So I think we picked Wolfheart here. So you're going to see that using Wolfheart synergizes with just being drunk, or as far as it doesn't get in the way of our normal intoxicating strikes. So before we get too deep into the encounter here, our Tav here, since he's the only one that has gear that synergizes with being drunk, although everybody else has one turn remaining on being drunk, they don't really need to be drunk. Tav is the only one, so he's going to go ahead and take another swig of alcohol, so he's good to go. So Drunken Master overall, they have these intoxicating strikes, so if we want to go ahead and do that, we'll use Luck of the Realm, sure. And we get these targets drunk. When they're drunk, they have disadvantage on dexterity and charisma saving throws, but that builds up our life of the party. And life of the party will give us one armor class, plus one armor class for every stack. So we have 2, and then we should have +2 there at the bottom, making sure everybody can see that. +2 from life of the party. Additionally to that, we get +1 attack rolls against drunk targets. Now I think this will give us actually +2. I think it's for every stack. So let's go ahead and see that real quick. Yep, you can see right there in the log for our 2 life of the party, we have now a +2 to our attack roll. So it's however many stacks of life of the party you have. So we don't want to kill this target, so we might hold off on hitting them again. But you can see life of the party here. The real, I would say, downside or even negative to life of the party is this condition ends if the monk is attacked or the combat encounter ends. So really, it's that attacked part that I'm like, that kind of stinks that this is gonna fall off if we just get hit. So with Drunken Master here, yeah, you really want to have high AC or something that's just, again, gonna make you just not get hit in general. And then if we move over to our cleric version here, I already used an action, so this turn he's gonna be down 1. But we can use our Drunken Technique and just do a flurry of blows and hit this target. And you can see we're gonna be able to proc, our Touch of Death from our cleric. And that's just going to be a nice bit of damage. And because we used our drunken technique, you can see here that we can just run away without provoking an opportunity strike. And then we can move on over to our shadow art here, where we are going to get up on these stairs. We're going to use mark target with our hunter's mark. Actually, it's going to get countered. Instead, we're just going to punch this mage instead with a bottle of rum. Well, that'll teach her. And we can now proc our Legion of Bees, teleport behind them. And then just spread more, of that drunk effect. Now they succeeded their saving throw, but we still got another stack of life of the party. So we can end Shadowheart's turn and we'll see what they do. Interesting. We didn't get hit, yet life of the party just got taken off of Shadowheart. So look at the log. Condition ends if the monk is attacked. So do they not even need to get hit? Oh no. So having high AC with this doesn't really even matter other than just to avoid like one attack. I'm wondering if they're still cooking with this whole life of the party, because just getting attacked and then this falls off. I don't know. You guys let me know how you feel about that, because I feel like you have to, or not, you don't have to, but for this video, going 7 into monk to get life of the party kind of seems like it's a staple of the subclass. And in this instance, yeah, life of the party, it's okay, but the fact that it falls off even if you get attacked and you dodge it, that kind of stinks. I thought it was more so if you get hit, it would then fall off. And even that, in that instance, it's still like, oh, well, that's okay, I guess. But getting just attacked and it falls off, that's rough. That's rough. You guys let me know how you feel about that. Because then it's like, ooh, is this even worth investing? If you're going to multi-class, is it worth investing all the way, 7 levels? Maybe just for the animations. Wade the Drunken Master, the animations are so good. We're going to redirect this missile, or we just negated the damage. So moving over to Karlach, we can do our Wolfheart Rage. And then we can do Inciting Howl, or we can just do, again, more Intoxicating Strikes. I think since we're the Barbarian version, we're going to do Inciting Howl. So everybody's going to get a little more movement speed, and then if they're close to Karlach here, they will have advantage on their attacks, as far as our allies are concerned. So let's go ahead, and we'll probably just end her turn, because she's kind of just in this awkward position. We're going to deflect the arrow with both Gale and our Tab. And yeah, they both should be able to throw the arrow back. That's so cool. Monks are great. Oh, and it's Karlach's turn to do it. So we're going to finish off this guard with Gale here, and because he's the only one with Sobering Realization, you'll see that it's just adding that 1d8 psychic damage, which is pretty decent, but again, we have to go 9 levels into Drunken Master to pick this up. So the playstyle here would be, you'd be running around, you'd be hitting targets with Intoxicating Strike, as many targets as you can, by the way. And so then that would be building up your life of the party, which each stack is going to give you 1 additional AC, everybody's going to be drunk, and then you can either cap them off with Sobering Realization, or you can just hit them normally. So let's just use Sobering Realization. Does a lot of damage, we crit, and now we can just run around, and let's go spread some Intoxication. Well, actually, we're just going to kill everybody. Animations are so good. Go ahead and hit him. He succeeded his saving throw. That's okay. We're still getting the stacks here. And then back to our ranger here. We can go ahead and mark him. And same thing. Just hit him with another Intoxicating Strike. We can do one of our Legion of Bee moves here. I don't want to kill him yet, so I'm just going to use knockback. He saved his throw on it. That's fine. And since we're ensnared, we're not going anywhere. We could finish him off, but let's not just yet. I like how Captain Grizzly over here has gone from like neutral to our ally, and that's for Act 3 story reasons. If you know, you know. So really, anybody else is just going to obliterate our last target. I'm just thinking for this breakdown to get Sobering Realization, maybe didn't need to go 4 into Rogue, picking up that feat. Not really necessary. Maybe that better split here would have been 9-3 instead. So that'd be a different way to kind of multi-class with Rogue. I think Rogue this is really the crowning jewel. This one really shines. God, monks are just so strong. We can just go ahead and just end it. Let's see, like 99% chance to hit plus advantage. Like, oh, that's a strong part about Way of the Drunken Master. I know I sounded pretty hard on it earlier, but a real strength of it is the fact that you're going to be debuffing targets having advantage if you have the proper gear, you're building up life of the party. If that target's drunk, the hit chance for them is going to be even better. But yeah, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think of Way of the Drunken Master when it comes to multi-classing. In this video, I do talk about a lot about how I think Monk is just so strong all on its own that multi-classing is kind of I would actually probably just stick with Monk instead. But I do think this rogue variation here is very, very strong. So let me know what you guys think. I will see you later this week for another video, probably going to talk about Swashbuckler, which I'm excited about because they've been fixing some of the tooltips with it. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Peace and take care.